John Perry in the dark. John Perry in the dark. John Perry in the dark.
Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be my complete Hammer collection as of March 2025. Now, I did set out to film this video in full and do the whole lot in one go, right across the shelves from there, onwards, and you will see what I see on the shelves when I go through them. But unfortunately, as I was recording it, the actual camera turned off because my hard drive is full. So unfortunately, I'll have to split this collection up into about 3 parts. So let's get into it. So first up is Hammer Horror Triple Shock Volume 1. I don't know if there's any more volumes out of this. This is released by Umbrella. This is an amazing set. And this is from my good friend John Hall. And I want to thank John once again for passing this across to me. It's absolutely brilliant. Now this does have in here The Evil of Frankenstein. I'll get more into the Frankenstein films in order a bit later on. Paranoiac, great film, Oliver Reed, and also Nightmare. I haven't seen that one. There is a few of these I haven't seen. I'll tell you which ones I haven't seen. But this video might act as a bit of a reference video. So if you're looking into picking some Hammer films up, you might want to take a look at this video and just say, right, I'll write down the ones I haven't got, or the ones I need, or the ones I didn't even know were Hammers, because there's quite a few out there. And this one is released by Umbrella, and you can get these separately in the UK. So that's the Hammer Horror Triple Shock. Next up is all the ones that were released by Indicator. I do have 2 titles in there that I haven't shown before. I picked them up in Edinburgh the other day. And these, I think, only need 2 more to complete the set that were released. These are the standard releases. First up is not a standard release. It is a special edition. It is Creatures the World Forgot. And if you want to know what protective case this is from Steelbook Central, a link to them down below. This is SCF 8. I haven't watched this one yet. I will go quickly through these ones because, like I say, there's quite a lot of titles to talk about here. I don't want this video to go on forever for you. So I will just basically show these off and just tell you a little bit about them, whether I've seen them or not. But what a special edition this is. The picture quality does look fantastic on them, as it looks on all of the Indicator ones. So that's the Creatures the World Forgot. Next is the Snorkel. Now what I've done with these is, this is from 1958. What I've done with these ones on my shelf, I've put them in year of order. They're not in year of the dates there. I've just put them in when they came out. I think I've got them right on the release dates. So this is black and white, and it is a great film as well. It's got this really interesting premise where this fella, this killer, he wears this breathing apparatus, like a snorkel, like a deep sea diver. And when he does his crimes, he hides with the snorkel. And the police think, well, this thing's just happened and we can't find the killer. But he's hiding with a snorkel. That's all, as far as I'll go into it. It's absolutely brilliant. And I don't know if you remember this song, Rupert the Bear, but the young girl in here was a girl who actually sung the theme tune to Rupert the Bear, believe it or not. But really good one, this one. Next is The Camp on Blood Island. This is from 1958. So this is black and white. It's a war movie. And Hammer did release a lot of stuff apart from their iconic Hammer Horror. So that's The Camp on Blood Island. Next is The Revenge of Frankenstein. Now, I will go into more details, like I say, about Frankenstein coming up. But this is the second Frankenstein film. And I just can't get enough of Peter Cushing when he plays Dr. Frankenstein. Yeah, Peter Cushing as Dr. Frankenstein is amazing. Next up is The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll. This is 1959, black and white. Another one that I must have seen back in the day, but I haven't seen recently, and I need to get into a lot of these ones, especially the horror ones. But I've been busy collecting them, and sometimes when you collect a load of them, it takes you a long time to get around them. How many times have we been here before? So that's The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll. Next up is Yesterday's Enemy. I've just got this one. This is a war film from 1959. This again was filmed in black and white. Now Hammer are noted for their colours, especially in the horror. But I don't mind these black and white films. I think a black and white gothic film is absolutely brilliant. So that's Yesterday's Enemy. Next is Never Take Sweets from a Stranger. This is 1960. Haven't seen this one, but obviously it's got a bit of a, dark subject matter and black and white again. But it's on the list. Next is one that I picked up when I was in Edinburgh the other day. It is Visa to Canton. This is 1960 and it is in colour. Don't know anything about it, I've got to say. But these, I will collect all the ones I find from Hammer There are a lot out there. Now, one that I have got that I can't find at the moment, so I think I've got it downstairs. It is this one, the On the Buses set. This was released by Hammer. Would you believe it? It's one of Hammer's biggest ever grossing films, the first one. I will probably look at their war films in kind of like one go. So that's Visa to Canton. Next is The Full Treatment. This is another war film. This is 1960, black and white. And on previous videos, when I put it out there, that I pick these ones up, I always get somebody coming back saying this is a really good film, like most of these are. Now, the thing about it is you think, all right, you're interested in the Hammer horror, which is great. You might not want to go to these ones. That's fair enough. But there's a lot of Hammer stars do star in these ones as well. Oliver Reed seems to star in every single one, thereabouts. So you will see a lot of the other characters. If you like the actors from the original Hammer horror ones, you will find some of these in here. So that's The Full Treatment. Next is Taste of Fear. This is meant to be a great psychological horror. This is from 1961. This is in black and white again. Christopher Lee is in here as well. As I said, you get a lot of these big stars from the Hammer horror ones in here. So this is meant to be really good as well. Next is Shadow of the Cat. This is 1961, black and white. And yeah, I like the look at this one. See Barbara Shelley, she's popping up in this one. A lot of these indicator ones I haven't watched yet because I've been really busy in the past couple of weeks collecting these ones. So that's The Shadow of the Cat. Next is Cash on Demand. This is another one I just picked up in Edinburgh. This has got Peter Cushing in. It's supposed to be somebody who's like a crook, and he steals from this bank in a way. It sounds really intriguing. 1961, black and white. But this is one that was high on my list to pick up when I realised it was Peter Cushing, because Peter Cushing is just great in everything he does. Haven't found a bad performance yet from Peter Cushing, and you know what? I don't think I ever will. He's absolutely brilliant. How to rob a bank and get away with it? Question mark. Yeah, really intriguing this one. That's Cash on Demand. Next is The Pirates of Blood River from 1962. This is in colour. This has got Christopher Lee in. It's also got Oliver Reed. Got a great cast here. Like I say, they had a lot of different things out there: sci-fi, action, war, pirates, you name it. But yeah, looks great. These ones in Hammer Horror, when you do put them on, even these early ones from the early 60s, you will see that they've got something spectacular in the way of the colour, the way they had the shot of colour films. That's The Pirates of Blood River. Next is The Damned, back to black and white. This is 1962, Oliver Reed. Meant to be a bit of a play on all of them doomed by the lurking unseen evil. Like it's meant to be a bit like the Children of the Damned, I've heard. Yeah, another one. Really, it's these ones when I'm looking through them, I'm thinking I would love to just because they're quite short as well. 90 minutes or under. Although this is 96 minutes. So that's The Damned. Next is The Scarlet Blade, another swashbuckling adventure. This is 1963, colour, 83 minutes, like I say. Well, great presentations. And obviously, all of these are packed with extras. You do get in here, on most of them, you get some featurettes about the ladies in Hammer, or featurettes on the music, or actually somebody talking about the whole setup of this particular film. So you've got a lot of extras on here, which you probably don't get in most sets. That's A Scarlet Blade. Next is Maniac. Just got this recently. This is from 1963, and it is black and white. Yeah, some of these are in 235 as well, big widescreen. So that, they were, like I say, they were good filmmakers, but it's the Hammer horror that we're really intrigued about. Another one I've seen quite a few times on the shelves. I've just seen quite a few of these ones, but I didn't quite know if they were Hammer or not. But I went and looked through all the things released by Hammer, and I got a list of them. So I went and picked them off one by one. Like I say, there's only 2 left to get, as far as I know. That's Maniac. Next is The Old Dark House from 1963. This one looks really intriguing. I like this old dark house comedy type of trope. This is kind of like a remake of a 1930s one, and I love that one. So I can't wait to see this one's got a great cast in here as well. It is actually directed by William Castle, so it's in conjunction with like William Castle. So a lot of these ones, even though Hammer is predominantly a British releasing company, they did have to go into bed with some of the American releases because sometimes they were kind of a bit hard up with the money and they needed someone to like back their films as well as their own stuff. So that's The Old Dark House. Next is The Gorgon. This is a real Hammer horror classic. It's in colour. It's 1964. And if you're like me and you were young when you saw these things used to petrify the life out of you when they were shown on TV. Probably I would imagine nobody had a colour TV back then. I know we certainly didn't. But when you saw these in colour, it was like a revelation. So that's the Gorgon. Next is The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb from 1964. There is 4 Hammer mummy films, which I'll talk about later on. I'll get them all in order for you. But I love these ones from, actually the Universal ones, of the mummy ones were absolutely brilliant as well, I found. But these are great. That's The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Next is The Brigand of Kandahar. This is from 1965. This is in colour. This is a war film again. Don't know anything about it, and I will be checking these war films out in one go. I think I'll do like a series of them, or a season of them for myself. Oliver Reed again in there. And last up in the indicator titles is Die Die My Darling from 1965. This is absolutely brilliant. It's not a horror film, but it kind of is. It's more like a psychological one. It's got like a great cast in here with an amazing Tallulah Bankhead, who has to be seen to believe. Stephanie Powers from Heart to Heart, my wife's a big fan of her. And Donald Sutherland as well, if you can believe it, and Eutha Joyce. So it's got a great cast in here. But this is one of my favourite early Hammer horrors. That is, and it's in colour as well. That was before they got into their big sort of horror films, which came for me. They were starting at Dracula and the Frankenstein ones, and the Mummy ones were going at this time. But in 1965, they were kind of just a bit short of getting their iconic stuff out, which was, for me, is when they come to life in the mid-60s. So that's Die Die My Darling. Next up is The Hound of the Baskervilles. This is a Hammer title. This is a rare Hammer title. I think it's the only one they've got as a Hammer film. But Peter Cushing is Sherlock Holmes, absolutely brilliant. That's all you need to know. Peter Cushing's in it, you're in for a winner. Next up is a bit of an odd one, The Man Who Could Cheat Death, and also has got a double bill with The Skull. The Skull is an Amicus film. This is a rare sort of Hammer and Amicus. You never see that happening many times. And this is the Hammer movie on here. It's great. It's got a great cast in here. This fella here, he turns up in a lot of films. It is Anton Differing, and it's a great actor. Him, I think he's German, and absolutely brilliant colour as well. But this one is great. These ones have been released by Eureka separately, and I think they are better than this one. This was the first of a time that it came out in a double bill. It's hard to get. I think this was released in the States by Legend Films. But highly recommended the both of them are. This one's got the better cast. It's got Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee in it. It's a great film, this, and one of the best Amicus films you can see. So that's The Man Who Could Cheat Death and The Skull. Next is another double feature. It is The Revenge of Frankenstein and also The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Now, John Hall gave this to me, and he did say that the quality of this from Mill Creek isn't as good as it could be. I think it was kind of when it was put out, it was saying you could have done a better job in it. Now, I know this has been released by Indicator and also has, well, both of them have been released by Indicator. Released by Mill Creek, the quality is not that great, but if you want something just as a placeholder, it's not that bad a release. So that's The Revenge of Frankenstein and Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Like I say, I'll get more into them individual series when I come to them. Next up is The Curse of the Werewolf. Weirdly enough, this is the only time Hammer released a werewolf film. That was a missed opportunity by them. I really do think that they could have released more. Maybe when they release brand new films, as they are doing now, they might go back to the werewolf saga. That would be brilliant if they did. And it stars Oliver Reed, and for me, they couldn't have got a better person to play the werewolf. That's The Curse of the Werewolf. Next is Captain Clegg. This always came across like a real horror film. It's not a horror film. It's more like a pirate's swashbuckling adventure. I do know that Powerhouse have released this one. Indicator have got them out, and I think the Indicator one is better than the Final Cut one. But it does star Peter Cushing and Oliver Reed, so you can't grumble about that. So that's Captain Clegg, or Night Creatures as it's known. Next is The Phantom of the Opera. This is such a great film, very iconic as well. Herbert Lom is the Phantom. And this is the Final Cut version. Now, I think I know that this is out on Indicator, I think. And the Indicator one is better than the Final Cut one. Unfortunately, Final Cut don't seem to have the best quality when they release their stuff, which is a bit of a shame. Of course, the main reason why I'm not upgrading this one or Captain Clegg, because I think there's better ones out there, is because at this moment you don't know what Hammer themselves are going to release. So I would hate to sort of buy an upgraded one of this one and then Hammer announce it next. I want to I've got them here. They're not going anywhere. I can keep them on the shelves for now. And then hopefully in the future, they will all be upgraded by Hammer themselves down the line. That's going to be some restoration process, but you don't know. So I'm not going to jump the gun with any of these ones. So that's the Phantom of the Opera. Next is Kiss of the Vampire. Now, I know I've watched this one back in the day, but I haven't got any recollection of it. I've had this on the shelf for quite a while. I will be getting around to watching it. And they put out some amazing stuff there. Although this is a certificate 12, so I don't think it'll be as explicit as some of their later movies got to. So that's Kiss of the Vampire. Next is Quatermass in the Pit. Now, the Quatermass films, as far as I know, I think this is the only one they've released. This is released by Studio Canal. They did have a slipcover when it first came out. The slipcover kind of went very quickly. But it is out there. If you want to collect these with slipcovers, you will be able to get this with a slipcover on. If you're lucky. I've always enjoyed the Quatermass films. I think there's Quatermass, Quatermass 2, this one, and the one called X the Unknown, which is kind of like something to do with Quatermass, I think. I think they're absolutely brilliant, but unfortunately, for some reason in the UK, we are just really starved of the Quatermass stuff. So I'm really hoping, and I've got a sort of inkling for some reason that the new Hammer team are going to be releasing the first two anyway, the Quatermass ones. It's just, I don't know why I'm thinking that, but I've got a big feeling that they're going to do that. Or I'm hoping anyway. But if I had to guess, I would guess they were going to be tackled sooner rather than later. So yeah, Quatermass in the Pit, stunning picture quality on this one. Sometimes the Blu-rays on this are just unbelievable when you get them. You think they've got to be better. They will be better in 4K, but you think how much better. Next is The Vampire Lovers. This stars the amazing Ingrid Pitt. And on a side note, as you know, there is Ingrid Pitt's autograph. My good friend John Hall got that autographed from her at a convention. Yeah, brilliant. So that lives in there. I would love this to get the 4K treatment, as practically all the horror films and some of the other ones as well. I would love them to do all of them, and I'm pretty sure they're going to tackle a lot of them. Although they just keep the details close to the chest, as I say. This is great. She is great. This is, for me, this is like early 70s. I can't see the date on here. But it is when Hammer seemed to be getting a bit more, like I say, not really explicit, but they were up in the ante when it came to sort of blood and flesh. But yeah, excellent. So that's the Vampire Lovers. Next is another Ingrid Pitt classic, Countess Dracula. This is absolutely brilliant. In fact, all of the Hammer vampire films and all of her vampire films were great. But this is a great release from Network. It's got a booklet in here as well. I do know that sadly Network aren't around anymore, so maybe they might be a better company for Hammer to go and get the rights to it if there's rights problems. That's why you're seeing a lot of different releases from a lot. It's not as uniform as I would like this collection. It is a bit hit and miss on the shelves for looking. It's nothing like that. You're not going to get any of these going on. These amazing sets which just follow on. Unfortunately, but hopefully when they release the new stuff from Hammer, they would tidy them up a little bit. But then again, do other people own the rights, and are the rights going to be hard to get? That's why you can't really guess on where they're going to go with this, because the first two they've released, the Four-Sided Triangle, which is coming out soon, and Captain Kronos, didn't really get a good UK release over here, so you don't know which company they're kind of in cahoots with, if any. So that's Countess Dracula. Next is Vampire Circus. This is brilliant. This was really, these ones really scared me, really petrified me. Like I say, the gore and everything in this was much more than the previous ones, the 60s ones even. When they got in the 70s, they did go take it to the next level. This was like stuff you would never see. I mean, these were on TV. I think they were probably uncut as well. They didn't seem to be cut, as far as I can remember. But yeah, massive fan of this film. Massive fan of Hammer, obviously. But yeah, brilliant. Brilliant vampire film, Vampire Circus. Next is The Hands of the Ripper. This is a kind of murder mystery about Jack the Ripper in a fashion, but it's got a good little twist on it. So that's The Hands of the Ripper. Next is Twins of Evil. See, Synapse. A lot of different companies have been releasing these. So if you're wanting to get some of these things and you're looking around, do know that sometimes the ones I've got here, I've got these way back, and they might be actually released in the UK. So what I would say is if you're particularly after this one here, put a search in and look on Blu-ray.com and just see what other versions are out there, because this one might be out of print, or it might be really cheap compared to the UK one. I don't know. So you might have to do a bit of homework yourselves on this one. But this is a region A locked one as well. But I had to start getting these ones from the US, because at the time when this came out, and things like Vampire Circus, which is out in the UK, there was only way to get them was to go across to the US to pick them up. So that's Twins of Evil. So that's as far as I got before my hard drive said no more. Okay, so hopefully part 2 and 3 will be up very soon. Thanks for watching. You take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.